It is my day off again, and that means we are doing some baking. Today's sweet treat was something I actually never had on my original list, but I got it as a request off a friend of mine. Today I am making pastel de natas, just so you can get a closer look. This is one of them recipes that feels more complicated than it actually is. I'm following the recipe from, I'm actually just going to show you. It is from, I don't know how to say it. I'll put it properly on screen. This one. Has good reviews. Obviously the photos are going to be good, but I feel like I trust them. Not making my own puff pastry today. Even though I do think I need more practice at it, I just don't have the time. So I have a couple of pre-made sheets. Not ones I made earlier, ones I bought from the shop. I get started on our custard. So for this one, they're saying 27 grams of flour. It's very specific. 60 mils of milk. I'm going to whisk that together until it's completely smooth wherever my whisk is. From what I gather, this is a custard, but the base of it is basically like a bechamel, and then you add all your sugary sweet goodness in on top. Now we are going to get our sugar syrup together. 264 grams of granulated sugar. Bottom measuring cup. 158 mils of water. I assume this is just conversions from cups and shit, which is why it's so specific. Cinnamon stick. Now, this recipe doesn't call for it, but I saw other recipes that did online, which was some lemon peel. I don't know, most of a lemon's worth of peel. Other people use actual vanilla pods. I was in my hole spending the money on that. Just want to double check with this recipe. The recipe uses vanilla extract like what I have here. Now this is a good one because you can actually see the bits of vanilla beans in there, I think. Adds it in at just before you add the eggs, I believe. But I did see other people just add it straight into this. I'll leave it for now. Right, we're gonna get this on a simmer and we're just gonna cook it off. You don't really want to touch it. It's just gonna gradually turn into a nice sticky syrup. And while that's going, we're gonna get our eggs together because we need 6 egg yolks. I am going to use the whites for an omelette, don't worry. Another pot, then we're gonna heat up the rest of our milk, which is 237 mils. Once that pot of milk is hot, we're going to whisk that into our milk and flour mix. Then when the sugar is ready, we're going to stream that into that mix. Don't know why I did that. Then you're going to add your vanilla in, and then we're going to add our eggs in. Am I supposed to pre-mix the eggs? Yes. Pre-whisk the egg yolks. But again, I've seen recipes be like, oh, only add one at a time, but this one is doing a bit of an opposite to a lot of the other ones. So I'm just gonna stick to what this one says. If it goes wrong, you can blame these fuckers. Milk is hot. That into our other milk and flour. I just feel like it would have been easier to do it the other way, because the other way I saw people doing it is basically just make a bechamel. Milk and flour in a pot on like a low heat, make like a roux, and then continue on. But this just seems like more of an effort and more thinking than just making a bechamel. We'll go for it. I think my sugar syrup is done. Did it give temperatures? Yeah, 104 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's sitting around that. You don't really need to do anything with this. You just let the sugar dissolve, but it'll eventually kind of darken up in colour. The sugar will be completely dissolved and it'll just look a bit thicker, but nothing really too complicated. I am going to, what's going to be the easiest way? I might just fish them out. I am going to stream the sugar syrup into the milk and whisk as I'm doing it. It isn't looking as thick as I thought it should. This bowl is not a good decision to be mixing hot liquids in. Because whatever you do not get the simple syrup on you, because hot water and sugar is a horrible potent combo. Right, I might transfer it back into the pot, to be honest. Oh, that's hot. Ow. Next goes in a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, this says to add the eggs straight in here, but I think that's too hot, so I am going to temper them first. Tempering is basically when you add a bit of your hot liquid, or whatever it is you're using, to your eggs first, before you add the whole thing in and end up with scrambled eggs. That was too much. No, we're okay. Right, now we are going to pour this into that. Get all the egg yolk in. This recipe does say it's supposed to be thin, but I feel like this is still like pure fucking water. I better not have wasted 6 egg yolks, or I'll go mad. Pass that through a sieve into a clean bowl. I get some cling film on that. We're gonna leave it to cool a little bit. Fuck off actually making contact. This will stop it from forming a skin. Next up is getting our pastry ready. I have 2 sheets of puff pastry. I'm gonna go 6 and 6 in my muffin tray, just in case the first batch goes arseways. I'm going to roll this up into a log. And we are going to cut it into 6, so into your, I actually think that might be a bit big. Then with wet hands, you are going to push it down and just mold it into you have a bit of a cup shape. Oven has been preheating like 15-20 minutes, as hot as it can go. It says 200 and then there's a big gap afterwards, so I assume like 230, 240-ish, but just preheat it as hot as it fucking can go. I've transferred the custard into a jug just so it's easier to pour, and we're gonna fill these 3/4 of the way. See, I haven't spread out the pastry very evenly, so some sides are high and some sides are low. We are gonna stick these into the top, not the top shelf, just below that, for about 8 to 10 minutes, I think it is. So let's hope. I actually don't think I've said why I'm making these today. Obviously I am a fan because they are an elite level pastry, but my barber who I'm in with today, which is why I'm in a rush and I did make my own puff pastry, Mr. Shane Enright, I basically said for all the effort he puts in to make me look as pretty as humanly possible every time I go see him, I'd make him whatever he wanted, and this is what he asked for. Let's hope they turn out alright, or maybe he'll butcher me today. I've been in about 12-ish minutes, but I don't think I had the oven fully preheated, so we're gonna take a peek. I think I might stick them back in because we don't have that char on top. They do look decent though. They just don't have that char. I'll try, for the next ones, I'm going to try really get the dough up the sides as much as possible because they're folded in on themselves quite a lot. Yeah, right, we're going to leave that to cool for a minute, take them out, give them a little dusting of icing sugar and ground cinnamon. Then we'll get the next set in. But I'm going to leave that to preheat for like 10-15 minutes at least, just make sure it's scorching. They smell good at least. Right, they don't look too bad. There's the top, there's the bottom. With a bit of a spiral going on. Quite happy. Think I know what to do differently now for the other 6. Only thing is, I'm gonna have a lot more than 6 worth, so. Is there anything else I can use this film for? Like, I know I have more sheets of puff pastry, but I don't know if I want to be making 20 something pastel de natas. I'm gonna try to eat one now, but I'm definitely gonna burn my mouth. No, we'll be grown up. We won't do it yet. This time I've definitely spread them out a bit better. They're pretty much right up the top the whole way around. So hopefully that means I can get more of the custard in. Again, about 3/4 of the way up. Oven is well and truly preheated as well. Set a timer for, I'll go 10 minutes because I feel like it's going to be less. It was about 12 or 13 altogether last time. Recipe says like 8 to 10, but I don't know if my oven will get hot enough for that. Disregard that whole 8 to 9 minutes thing because I don't know how hot your man's oven goes in that fucking blog, but not as hot as mine. 13-ish, but just keep an eye on them because obviously you want that kind of blackened top on them, which I'm hoping we have here now. Ooh, not quite, but I'm gonna leave them another 2 minutes. So that's about 15 altogether. Timer's up. We are taking them out. They look better than the first go, I will admit. It's so, like that one there. Ooh, don't burn myself. That looks tops. These look okay. This side just has no colour, but that's the money right there. All right, I'm gonna leave them to cool because the gaff is sweating with how hot that oven has been. Leave them to cool. Gonna give them a dusting of icing sugar and cinnamon, and then we'll do a taste test. Look at that. I think that's the best one. Yeah, that one there is the best one.